What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm gonna hit y'all with a review of the new Phife Dawg album entitled Forever. Let's get to it. So, Phife Dawg, aka Phife Diggy, aka the 5-foot assassin, was a legendary MC from the iconic hip-hop group A Tribe Called Quest. Queens is in the house, represent. Now, in my opinion, Phife was the member who had some of the illest and slickest quotables from out the crew. To this day, I find myself randomly reciting his lyrics from either bugging out or vibes and stuff. However, unfortunately, the hip hop community lost Phife back in 2016 due to health complications, but before his passing, he had not only worked on the Tribe album, We Got It From Here, Thank You For Your Service, but also for his final solo album entitled Forever. But quickly, in the comment section, let me know what y'all thought of that last Tribe album and where do you rank it in their overall discography. So from my understanding, the bulk of the material on Forever had already been completed before his untimely death, at least a good chunk of it was. However, this is labeled a posthumous release, and when we tend to think of posthumous hip-hop albums, the sad reality is they mostly disappoint. Sure, there have been some good ones like the Big L, the Gangstar, and the UGK album. And no, I'm not gonna count Tupac's Machiavelli or Biggie's Life After Death. It's hard to really consider those posthumous albums, although they technically are. But a lot of posthumous releases tend to feel rushed, inorganic, lack cohesion, and just seem like a money grab. Although, fortunately, the individuals involved in putting the final touches on this Phife album seem to have Phife and his family's best interests at heart. But getting right into it, it contains 13 tracks and lasts approximately 53 minutes. DJ Rasta Roots serves as the executive producer of the project, and this was an independent release on Phife and Rasta Roots Smoking Needles record label. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with this track by track breakdown. The opener is an intro entitled Cheryl's Big Son. It's a moving intro containing old audio clips of Phife talking to his mom as a baby. It's backed by a warm and mellow instrumental from V Rich and Rasta Root. Now, the first actual song, Only a Coward, has a playful and crunchy boom bap beat courtesy of Ninth Wonder. The production is very nostalgic and fitting for the Tribe sound, and I couldn't think of a better instrumental for Phife to set this thing off. Here, he's doing some storytelling, speaking on growing up, maturing, and leveling up. You know, adulting isn't always fun, but you still gotta handle your business and hold ish down as a grown man and grown woman. I like the message, Phife's storytelling, and the production, as I have this as one of my favorites from the album. Track 3, Fallback, has a soulful and sunny beat from Crisis. It's an ultra smooth record with more mature grown man content. This has a verse from Rhapsody, which complements the type of production, and also some soothing R&B vocals from Renee, who was a part of that 90s group, Janae. Phife talks about what he's thankful for, family obviously being one of his biggest blessings, as he talks about the joys and responsibilities of being a dad. But yeah, Crisis came through in providing a feel-good, smooth riding instrumental. Afterwards is the boom bap banger Nutshell Part 2 featuring Busta Rhymes and Redman. And this is the remix to Phife's single from 2016, and it contains the same dirty and crunchy Dilla beat as the original. And it's also one of the more aggressive and in-your-face records on this album. I love the rhyme scheme and the flows that Busta and Phife were using. However, it seemed that Redman did not get the memo, as he was just kind of doing his own thing. I felt Red's verse was solid, but it wasn't on the level of his past work, and certainly not as strong as Phife and Busta's verse. Which, to keep it a buck, makes me a little leery of how this alleged Muddy Waters 2 will sound if it ever receives the light of day. Things mellow out with the track Sorry, produced by Knots, who provides Phife with a smooth, melodic, and glistening beat. I like the satiny keys and the impressive hook from V Rich. This one finds Phife asking for forgiveness to a woman he wronged. He admits to taking her for granted and wants another chance to be a better man. He apologizes for being shady, running the streets, focusing on side chicks and too much drinking. This is followed by Dear Dilla Reprise, which is a heartfelt letter to Dilla and a celebration of his life. Now, this contains the same exact lyrics from Phife's 2014 version, but the beat here is softer with these glorious keys. We also get an emotional and genuine hook from Q-Tip, who sings about his love and respect for both Dilla and Phife. Altogether, it's a dope remix that shows Rasta Root's skill as a producer. I would have loved the verse from Q-Tip, but the hook worked. The pace picks up on Wow Factor, which has an up-tempo and rugged beat from Crisis. I love the dusty drums and the soul chops. This one is all about the fly things and events in this life that make it say, wow. Phife raps, MJ's off the wall, Thriller LPs, work ethic of Tupac Shakur, skill set of B.I.G., wordplay of Nas, militance of Chuck D, stage presence of BDP, showmanship of Run and D. So I enjoyed this record not only for Phife's imagery and wordplay, but also because the production was a little harder hitting. Things mellow out once again with the track Residual Curiosities, and this is backed by a lush and golden instrumental and a neo-soul-like hook from Lyric Jones. On here, Phife gives us some sharp storytelling about two female fans that he had met on tour. He recalls one was Juanita, twins named Salida, fell in love with Tribe when they first heard Bonita. Finally figured out while they was banging, no doubt, but what made them stand out was they was B-girled out. The end of the story is a little sad, but it's a smooth track with heartfelt storytelling. The subsequent song is Godsend, where Phife continues to give us more thoughtful and emotionally compelling lyricism. He regrets having played phone tag with Dilla before his death and recollects when Tribe got back together again. He also speaks on battling illness and how people accused him of smoking crack when he lost weight. But it was his family and friends who were able to help him pull through. Therefore, he considers them to be true godsend. And this has another warm and soulful beat with a funky bass line. Dwele gave us a strong performance on the hook. Also, I was kind of getting a Stevie Wonder feel from his chorus. Track 10 is an interlude entitled Round Irving High School, and it's a touching spoken word piece from Phife's mom over a rich and sparkling piano instrumental. There are also beautifully sung vocals from the R&B great Angela Winbush, who, if you don't remember, appeared on Biggie's classic I Love the Dough hook. So there isn't any rapping here, just spoken word and singing, but the sentiment is great. What follows is French Kiss Toi. It's a suave and romantic record featuring Redman and Illa J. We're getting a silky smooth backdrop from Potato Head people. The faint trumpets are a cool addition, and I was getting somewhat of a slum village feel from the production. The lyricism was good, although Redman did have a line that made me cringe. Because I'm so in love with you, the type of woman that'll fart in the tub with you. Yeah, that was a visual that I don't think I needed, Red. I mean, respectfully, you're still a legend though. Now, the second to last track is To Live Forever, featuring Little Brother and De La Soul, and this is built around a somber boom bap beat. It's a classy and heartfelt tribute to Phife. There was an R&B hook that I didn't mind, but I also felt that it wasn't really needed at the same time. Although I do like this track, and I dug that we got to hear from De La. Then the album wraps up in the most fitting way possible with the track Forever. The instrumental from Rasta Root, V Rich, and Nas is soulful and epic. The scratching in of ODB and Outkast vocals hits really hard. I mean, the inclusion of these ODB and Outkast vocals on the hook was really flawless. Phife is basically telling his side of the story on how Tribe formed, the highs and lows of the group and the regrets. But ultimately, it was the fans who he admits brought them together again. Phife recalls, first album, Make Noise Overseas, finally making some G's, paying on rents, and now my granny is pleased. Up next, Low End Theory, who could relive the energy, requiem of that official, the way hip hop is supposed to be. This one was allegedly recorded 3 days before he passed, which makes it even more moving. Yeah, this will be one of the songs that'll likely resonate with hardcore Tribe fans the most. It's probably gonna make you shed a tear or choke up a little bit. In my opinion, they couldn't have ended the album on a more perfect note. Overall, I give this project a rating of a strong 3.5 to 4 mics. This was a well put together album that gave us more of the thoughtful and grown man side of Phife. Sonically, it tended to be on the smoother side, but the production and vibes were consistent with the Tribe sound for the most part. I feel DJ Ross the Root and everyone involved did a great job in leaving the album as close to what Phife would have likely wanted it to sound like. There were no awkward or forced attempts on this project, fortunately. The only slight issue I would say is that because things were on the mellower side, I wouldn't have minded the inclusion of at least one more up-tempo or punchy track, or possibly one less R&B hook. Still, it was a dope posthumous album that I'm sure most Tribe fans should be pleased with, and at the end of the day, I think this was a proper send-off and a great way to keep his legacy alive forever. My favorite tracks include Only a Coward, Nutshell Part 2, Dear Dilla Reprise, Wow Factor, Godsend, To Live Forever, and Forever. Let me know what you thought about this album in the comment section below. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Phife Dawg, forever one.